You've probably heard that old gospel song called "Gimme That Old-Time Religion." The chorus says, "Gimme that old-time religion, gimme that old-time religion, gimme that old-time religion, it's good enough for me." Well, a lot of old-time religion is good and noble, and we'll explore much of it in Part 2 of this book. But some old-time religion is neither good nor noble. Old-time religion gave us the Crusades, the Inquisition, and religious wars. Old-time religion oppressed women, defended slavery, and stifled scientific inquiry. The fact is, some of that old-time religion is unhealthy and needs to be discarded. In the chapters that follow, we will review 10 tenets of old-time religion that Christians can and should discard. Chapter 1. God causes cancer, car wrecks, and other catastrophes. Those 18 who were killed when the Tower of Siloam fell on them, do you think that they were worse offenders than all the others living in Jerusalem? No, I tell you. Jesus, in Luke chapter 13, verse 2 and verses 3 through 5. One summer afternoon, a country preacher went to visit a farmer in his congregation. As the preacher and farmer sipped iced tea and talked, the farmer's son bolted into the house carrying a dead cat by the tail. In his excitement, the boy did not notice the preacher sitting on the other side of the room. He rushed up to his father, held up the dead cat, and said, "Dad, I found this stray cat at the barn. I hit him with the board, then I threw him against the barn, then I kicked him, and then I stomped him." At that moment, the boy saw the preacher. Without missing a beat, he said, "And then, Pastor, the Lord called him home." God often gets blamed for things God does not do. When I was a teenager, a friend of mine named Rick died in a car wreck. Rick, a delightful young man and deeply committed Christian, had planned to become a minister. At his funeral, the pastor said, "Although we cannot understand it, God's will has been done." Even though I was only 16 years old and a new Christian, I knew better. God didn't kill my friend Rick. A drunk driver did. Just last week, a young police officer from Middle Tennessee lost his life in a traffic accident. His police chief said, "Not knowing how the good Lord makes his decisions sometimes, we were all caught off guard by Jeremy's sudden demise." But it wasn't the good Lord's decision that killed this young man. It was the driver of a pickup truck who ran a red light. If God had actually been the one who killed this fine young policeman, God would not be a good Lord at all. Unfortunately, people attribute awful events to God all the time. A child dies of leukemia, and people say, "God wanted another angel in heaven." A young woman dies of breast cancer, leaving behind a husband and young children, and people say, "God works in mysterious ways."